All right, let's go back to the Hughes Fire for a moment. Take a look at just how fast this fire spread. Now, this is not a time lapse. This is real-time movement. Look at that. The winds are whipping so strong, they're creating what looks like a fire tornado. Some crews are having to speed away to stay ahead of the flames. So let's get to Paul Hagen, who's really going to break down what this fire-nado is.
Yeah, these fire-nados, one of the more visually striking things that wildfires are capable of, and we're seeing more of them because they're just more cameras aimed at these wildfires. Let's talk about what's happening when these develop with a look at kind of the cross-section of the fire itself. Whenever a wildfire develops, the air that's flowing over it is going to be disrupted by the turbulence of the growing fire and by the terrain. If that doesn't cause a full-fledged circulation, it's at least going to get the air moving in some different directions. Now, as the fire grows, it's going to be sending more and more air up in the atmosphere. Heated air is going to go up, and that creates a relative vacuum at ground level. Physics isn't going to allow that, so air rushes in from the sides to replace that air that is going up, and as it moves in, it accelerates and it gets caught in that change in direction of the wind flowing around at ground level, and now you do have that circulation. And so you either get what we saw with the Hughes Fire today, the fire whirl that develops on the leading edge, see that frequently, or you can get a full-fledged fire tornado. We saw that with the Park Fire last year, when you get a circulation extending potentially miles up in the atmosphere, and the winds can top over 100 miles an hour if that circulation becomes really well developed. Haven't seen that with the Hughes Fire today or with the fires that have broken out over the past couple of weeks. Let's talk about the weather situation overall. It's still going to be a problem in the vicinity of the Hughes Fire. The red flag warning until 10 a.m. on Friday. Winds gusting to 65 miles an hour. The humidity is going to be lower than 10%, and it's that offshore wind that is going to continue for about another 36 hours or so. The gusty offshore winds being produced as the atmosphere gets squeezed in between systems. The wind is offshore in the Bay Area as well. It's just not nearly as strong as what they're dealing with in Southern California. One more day of a critical fire weather risk. The areas shaded in orange here correspond to where the red flag warnings are in effect through 10 a.m. on Friday. But there is good news with that rain chance headed in as we head into the weekend. Futurecast shows light to moderate rain showers moving in. That's what we want to see moving into Southern California over the weekend. That would add some moisture to those very dry fire fuels without too much rain in a short amount of time that would significantly elevate the mudslide and debris flow threats. We're going to keep an eye on that situation. We're going to come back and talk about our rain chances here in the Bay Area over the weekend, which aren't going to be necessarily zero. It's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right.